Back when I recorded videos on Roblox, I always used the real name of the car, despite the fact that in the game they had a different name to avoid copyright discrepancies. And I thought that when I'd gone into BeamNG, like moved over here, I'd met the end of that. Apparently not. Welcome to the definitely not Renault Twingo, also known as the Cherrier Tango. Oh, I'm actually upside down. Let's start off with the basic stuff in a mod. Does it open? Does any of it open? Yes, it does, I just couldn't find the button. The doors, they open. There's an ignition switch in here. Actually, the interior's got a few buttons. The hazard light. Those are going to get annoying really quickly. Bonnet release, so we can check under the bonnet. The ignition, so I can turn the engine off. No rear doors, because it's one of those hatchbacks where you have to pull the seats forward to move into the back seats. Why am I talking like this? Animated gear stick and handbrake, very nice. The interior is a bit low poly, especially these seats. The seats do look really cool though. They've got the Tango lettering on them, as well as some mathematical symbols for apparently no reason. I don't know why they went with that choice. I believe it does replicate the real life Twingo though. Let's have a look under the bonnet. So you got very simple engine, well kept engine bay. It's simple, but it's effective. If we look at the colours from the factory, there are quite a few. Please open the parts menu. And they're all in French, so we've got Bordeaux red. I've got no idea what that means, apart from the word red. Electric blue, dusk, which is in English as well. Just a really nice selection of colours, bright and upbeat. This is the base model, a 1.2 litre hatchback, 63 bhp, fairly sturdy I would say. In fact, let's just do a little crash test here into these. As you can see from the top down view, and this view actually, it's fairly robust, which is nice. So it's good to know that if you were to get into an accident, which in BeamNG happens frankly all the time, you're pretty much safe, especially considering it is 30 years old. There's a few things however that make the Tango very different to its real world equivalent in the Renault Twingo. The Tango lasted just 4 years and sold roughly 30,000 units in law. The Twingo lasted, 15 years and sold nearly 2.5 million units. The Twingo was offered with a 0.9 litre turbocharged unit or a 1.1 litre engine. These ones were offered, the Tango I mean, were offered with 1.2 litre or 1.4 litre engines. There was also never any hot Twingo. But these two, the Tango Turbo and the Tango GTI, definitely are hot. I want to draw more attention to the GTI though, mainly because fabric roof. I'm a sucker for a fabric roof. Honestly, these two are really cool. So let's see. This is the GTI. You get alloy wheels, that lovely fabric roof, and it's much revier. Alright, now I'm driving in first person. Let me just let you into a little secret. It's got a very laggy speedo, which means I'm having to use the in-game tachometer rather than the interior one, just because otherwise I can't really work out when I'm meant to change gear. I actually can't even work out where the rev counter is. Really not a good thing here. All in all though, I am enjoying this sporty little thing. My big problem is it's dangerous. Wheel spinny, understeery. I think they should have left out the sporty versions. If this is how the Twingo sporty configs would be if they ever made them in real life, let's just say most of them would be in ditches by now. Let's have a look at more of the normal-ish configs. The cargo version and the beta config. The cargo version is going to go first, because it's the one I'm in right now. Basically, it comes with blanked out rear windows that appear to have been done badly. And no rear seats, instead they've been replaced with... hold on. A box. I've got no idea what's in the box though. Seriously, I've literally got no idea what's in the box. It's one of those typical beam boxes. Not beam boxes, that's the roof box. Cargo boxes, but if we look in load in the part config... oh, the front also comes with some load. How do I get rid of the load in the rear? No. I think you can't actually get rid of the box in the back, which is mildly irritating. Bugger. So that's the cargo one. But what about the beta? Well, this one's interesting. It essentially comes pre-worn, so the radiator's damaged, the pistons are damaged, I think the con rods have gone on this one, the bumper's hanging off, the headlight is smashed, and there's a couple of dents here and there. It sounds really unhealthy. Probably because it is. If you can hear it in the video, which I'm not sure you will, it essentially sounds like a tuk-tuk. You get a sort of tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk, which you don't get in the normal ones. And I've crashed it already. I'm not very good at multitasking. Anyway, point is, I don't see many beta configs. But I am glad to see this one that's got a beta conf. Sorry, can you see the amount of smoke coming out of the back? I can't tell if that's actual engine smoke or if it's just the catalytic converter's gone. Either way, this is essentially killing all the trees around me, so I probably ought to stop driving it. Let's have a look at some of the more unorthodox Tango configs, starting off with this one, the race car variant. Much more powerful, admittedly has a very disappointing launch. As you can see, quite difficult to control because a lot of power, rear wheel drive swapped compared to the normal front wheel drive of the Tango, and slidey. The way it pulls after about in like second gear pretty much, nearly unrivaled. Just gotta get a grip on it, and as you can see the engine temperature is quite high. That's because it's extremely stupid in the way it's configured. They left the stock radiator on it. Oh yeah, I made a couple of configs. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. Gonna overwrite the race config with this. But that's not the only racing one. This is only for tarmac racing. There's also a drag racing one, and it's even quicker. Again, very disappointing launch, but after about 30 miles an hour, it is ridiculously quick. Long gear ratios, it revs up to 10,500 RPM. Very good for the quarter mile, but afterwards pretty much useless. And it flies. Backflip. Enough of that, because that's really just suitable for straight line only. let's have a look at the most lethal of the lot. The Tango Rally. Now, you might be wondering why the Tango Rally is the one that's the most lethal. That's very simple. It combines the slippery nature of the Tango race car with the slippery nature of a Tango... No, not a Tango, just a normal rally car with rear-wheel drive, thin tyres, tall suspension, very little in the way of interior weight reduction, which means no roll cage, and all in all, just, yeah, it's tippy, to say the least. And you've also got the radiator problem. But wait, there's more. You might be wondering why we need an airport. This is why. Right, we are now in the air. Because yes, there is an airborne Twingo. Sorry, Tango. And it turns. It does actually turn. Oh, I'm actually upside down. I'm upside down. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna crash. Does take some getting used to, but when you get used to it... Oh, let's just not do that. It's a good fun. This has to be the best config of all of them. Admittedly, the jet engine is quite loud, so I'm having to do it in external just because otherwise it'll mess up the audio of the video. But it's so fun. I love this config and I'm so glad it exists. Best config ever. So is this a great mod? Yes, it is. My one gripe with it is the interior. But other than that, it's lore accurate, it's really fun, and that plane is just wonderful. So thank you all for watching, and yes, you should absolutely go onto the BeamNG repo, which is where you can find this thing. You know, don't need to have to go to any shady websites or anything. Cough, Modland, cough. It's on the in-game repo. And you can get yourself one of the funnest cars I've driven in a good long while. Oh my god, I just said funnest, didn't I?